I offer free 15-minute get acquainted calls for families who are looking for one-on-one personalized sleep coaching and who want to figure out if I or one of the coaches on my team are the best fit for their family. And I have literally been asked hundreds of times during those get acquainted calls if it's too late to help their baby. Or is it ever too late to sleep train? If you've been wondering if you missed the window to sleep train your baby or child, this episode is for you. Hi, I'm Allison, Egidi, a pediatric sleep and wellness coach and a mom of two. I love to help parents find solutions. This is How Long Till Bedtime. Before I had my first daughter, I read a book on sleep. And after the approach I read about in that book failed, I read a second book when she was about 4 months old. We were hopeful for a few days, but then things quickly got worse and we gave up. That was the first of several failed sleep training attempts with Addison. I remember asking my older brother, who had a daughter older than mine, how long it took them to get her to sleep through the night. And he said very confidently, "Oh, she just magically started sleeping through the night when she was 12 months old. Just wait till then. It will happen." And that's when I started willing myself to just hang on until she was 12 months old. Surely by then she would start sleeping through the night. But she didn't. And as I've shared before on this podcast, her sleep was a disaster all the way up until her second birthday was approaching. My anxiety was through the roof and the whole thing nearly broke me because at this point we had tried sleep training several times. Her 12-month birthday had long since come and gone, and now we were approaching 2, and she still had us up much of the night. It was around that time when I stumbled upon and hired a sleep coach out of complete desperation and still with limited belief, but I was desperate. That being said, I was also very worried that we were way too late. Despite paying for this woman's wisdom and guidance, I was so skeptical, and I was in such a bad place personally that it actually took me several weeks to even muster up the energy and the courage to make the changes that she recommended. But when I finally did, I was a very good student, and it only took 11 days to sort out Addison's sleep. 11 days is nothing when you think about the painful 2 years we had prior to that. Hallelujah! It turned out we weren't too late after all. So, is it ever too late to teach a baby or young child healthy sleep habits? My answer is a definitive no. We didn't figure out Addison's sleep puzzle until she was nearly 2 years old. And I will tell you what I tell countless parents when I get asked this question about whether or not it's too late to fix their child's sleep struggle. I have helped many 3, 4, and 5-year-old children who have never slept through the night or have never slept in their own bed learn to sleep well independently. Shoot, I've even helped a child as old as 12 years old transition away from co-sleeping for the first time. Now, I want to keep it real. Yes, sleep training an 18-month-old is different than sleep training, say, a 6-month-old. We are now talking about a toddler who can pull up and stand in the crib. They are learning to talk. They can cry and scream very loudly. And even if they are not very verbal, they understand a ton and they are very opinionated about what they think they should be doing and what they think you should be doing. But I assure you that when you nail down their schedule that will optimize their sleep rhythm, and you incorporate language that helps them understand what you expect from them and what they can expect from you, they can learn to go down in their crib happily and sleep through the night, and to happily nap in their crib. That was another thing, you guys. I never had Addison nap in her crib until she was nearly 2. And yes, sleep training a young child who is no longer in a crib is very different than, say, sleep training a 6-month-old or an 18-month-old. Now we are talking about walking, talking, loud, strong-willed, and possibly scared and or anxious children who do not have the security of a crib and they can just walk out of their sleep environment. There is an entirely different set of emotions parents need to navigate with this older age group. The key for this age group is having a solid plan that you communicate to your child in advance and that you're prepared to stick to. With this age group, you do not want to decide on a new approach and spring it on your child at bedtime or in the middle of the night. Let me repeat that for those of you who are multitasking. You do not come up with a plan and spring it on your child right at bedtime or in the middle of the night. These, I'll say, quote, older kiddos need a very intentional plan that meets them where they are, steadily guides them towards independent sleep, and is communicated and followed through on with age-appropriate and confident language. So, while sleep training at various ages, whether we're talking about an infant or a toddler or a preschooler or even an elementary age child, will certainly look different, I want to assure you that I truly, truly believe that every child can learn to sleep well. It is never too late. Shoot, I even think that adults who have a long history of poor sleep can learn to sleep well. I am a perfect example. After becoming a pediatric sleep coach, I finally solved my own sleep puzzle and taught myself how to sleep well. Now, that doesn't mean I always sleep perfectly or that I parent myself perfectly to practice my own healthy sleep habits, but I now know what sets me up for good sleep. I know how to get myself good sleep. These were things that even a handful of years ago, a decade ago, I did not know how to do, and it's been a game changer. And the same is true for our kids. We just have to put together their puzzle. If you've been wondering if it was too late to sleep train your child or your baby and you've been just beating yourself up over missing the window, I hope that this episode has been reassuring. And if you need a little bit more of a pep talk on deciding on the ideal time to sleep train, I want to encourage you to go back and check out episode 153. It's a little bit more of a pep talk. Thanks for listening, and I hope you'll come back again next week. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to How Long Till Bedtime. To learn how we can work together to improve your child's sleep, please visit sleepandwellnesscoach.com.